Now I'd like to go to what Srila Prabhupada calls a book, and which is Raghunath Das Goswami's Manashiksha. Now, if you're not getting any internet over here, then you won't be able to look it up. So for tomorrow, save it somewhere in your telephone so you can refer to the verses and we can chant the verses. If you can, then look it up now, Manashiksha, and there may be the translations. I'm not vouching for or going through, but in any case, we'll go through the verses quite thoroughly, maybe per evening, maybe in a couple of evenings, depending on how we go. But here is Raghunath Das Goswami's Stavavali, and this is most of his writings. There's a few separate books like Dankeli Kamudi, Vichintamani, and also the Pearl Story. Aside from that, everything that he's composed, you will find in here. I don't know how the setup of the book itself is. Did Das Goswami give the title to the book, Stavavali? It's a compendium of so many things. Let me just speak. Anyway, a lot of items. 7 times 3 is 21. No, this is 24. 30. So 30 different prayers, songs, books. Prabhupada calls many of those books, and after offering obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in another book that Srila Prabhupada quotes, not Srila Prabhupada, Kaviraj Goswami quotes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then start off with this Manashiksha. So it's important, and I could say it's very basic, but it's not so basic. It goes through a spectrum of teachings. Gaudiya Vaishnavas are very familiar. In fact, it's rare that they don't know these verses off by heart. Prabhupada quotes a few in his purports. But aside from that, these are verses that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had his disciples regularly studying. Who knows Manashiksha? Parts of Manashiksha?
Well, not by heart.
No, by heart. So, okay, well that's one thing that you can start on. This concept of verse memorization is integral to keeping your mind, to keeping our mind fresh, to keeping the challenge with the intelligence, and a very, very, very good way of studying verses. So, especially those who are preachers, then it's essential. Bhagavad Gita, verses from Bhagavatam, CC, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ishopanishad, and other books of our acharyas. There are some nice shloka books that are compiled from the shlokas that Srila Prabhupada would quote, or that you find quoted in Prabhupada's lectures or books. Yeah, serious devotees, then they want to try to memorize all of those. So I know in the UK, sort of the first effort was done by my godbrother Rohini Nandan Prabhu, and over a period of quite a few years, gathered, and this was before computer days, gathered together verses, and still available in different editions, some with a very nice zipper around. So yes, we shouldn't neglect. Otherwise, who is this for? Who are these for? Okay, who's got Mana Shiksha in front of them? Okay, we got enough, and others can share. So we'll do standard reading format. Here you'll find 11 verses, and the 12th verse is the Falstuti, which we were speaking about the other day. So, Mana Shiksha, instructions to the mind. Now Krishna says, Bandhuratmatmanastasya jenat maivatmanajita anatmanasta shatruvat varte atmaiva. So mind can be best of friends, and mind can be your greatest enemy. So one who's controlled his mind, then the mind becomes a wonderful asset in spiritual development. But for one who has not controlled his mind, then the mind becomes a great enemy. And we start off from, unfortunately, this point of mind being very inimical, and it becomes a real challenge in any yoga system. Controlling the mind is the beginning. Without a controlled mind, then the senses can't be controlled, then the intelligence is overwhelmed, and that means that one acts under the influence of the false ego, as opposed to under the influence of our pure identity. Nitya Krishna Das. So Raghunath Das Goswami, his general writings are either they are praises, but more often than not they are for quite advanced devotees. Bhaktivinoda Thakur makes this statement. He says that there are many books for Kanishta-adhikaris and there are many books for Uttama-adhikaris, but there are few books for Madhyama-adhikaris. So this is sort of an example like that. a lot of the content of Das Goswami's works is for Uttama Adhikaris. And we see that Srila Prabhupada really concentrated his teachings on raising Kanishta Adhikaris to the platform of Madhyam Adhikari. If someone is a serious Madhyam Adhikari, and ultimately you're not a Madhyam Adhikari unless you're serious. If you're not serious, then you remain a Kanishta Adhikari. So if someone's really serious in devotional service, then yes, then they will be able to progress forward, although of course progress is always dependent on quality association, like-minded. Sajatiya Snigdha. Okay, so we're going to chant this verse. I'll chant and then you do responsively. Guru Goshte Goshtalayashu Sujana Busharagane. Guru Goshte Goshtalayashu Sujane Busharagane. Swamantre Shinamni Vrajanavayuvadvandva Sharane. Swamantre Shinamni Vrajanavayuvadvandva Sharane. Sadadambam Hitva Kururatim Apurvam Atitaram. Sadadambam Hitva Kururatim Apurvam Atitaram. Aishvantar Datas Chatubir Aviyache Dritapada. Aishvantar Datas Chatubir Aviyache Dritapada. Okay, so I leave it to you all to start memorizing these verses. And here's a translation which, considering the listing nature of the verse, it's very accurate. O mind, I grasp your feet and beg you with sweet words. Please throw away all your pride and develop intense, extraordinary love for my spiritual master, Brajabhumi, the people of Braj, the Vaishnavas, the Brahmanas, the Gayatri Mantra, the holy name, and the transcendental shelter that is the youthful couple of Braj. Let's go through the word for word. Guru is obviously Guru, and singular, Guru.
That's singular, that people Ganti.
So, although spiritual master here is in singular, but in other places Vande Guru. So Chaitanya Charitamrita then refer to the plurality of Guru, which means one Diksha Guru and perhaps multiple Shiksha Gurus, although it's not compulsory that there's multiple Shiksha Gurus. It may be that it is just the Diksha Guru who is, because generally, who is the Diksha Guru? He is the person from whom one receives Shiksha. So, first respect is offered to Guru. And of course, the English translation and Sanskrit are different in that the construction of words has a little more free flow style in Sanskrit than it does in English. So we're starting with the list. Guru, offering respect to spiritual master. So Then Goshti. Who are the resident Goshti? Who are the residents of Vrindavan? Goshti means cowherd pastures. So what cowherd pastures? Well, not cowherd pastures all over the world. We're only interested in those cowherds of Vrindavan. And that means the gopis, the gopas, the elders, the younger ones, even the brahmanas who are living in Vrindavan, and so many other personalities. We should not, in one sense, discriminate amongst them, thinking that we're only interested in gopis and we're not interested in anyone else. Oh, I forgot about this. The whole format, if you can use that word, of Vrindavan is that certainly everything revolves around Radha Krishna's pastimes, but everyone plays a very important role. It makes a full picture. It's just like, here's the picture. You can say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is most important. So what do? You cut out Lord Nityananda's feet or something? It's not so important. Of course not. It makes for a whole picture. So if we want a whole picture, all parts are important. Although yes, some in a comparative way, we may say that some are considered to be more exalted than others, yet everyone is perfect. There is no imperfection in Vaikuntha. Everything and everyone is perfect, and everyone is perfectly satisfied with whatever service they have for Krishna. So we should appreciate that, and therefore we should recognize that we offer respect. All right, well, I'm not disrespectful to the residents of Braj. What to speak of, where are the residents of Braj? Where the residents of Braj are here. The residents of Braj are in Srimad Bhagavatam. The residents of Braj are in so many of the books. So one is, for instance, what Srila Prabhupada often criticizes the so-called Bhagavad Saptaha speakers, that they jump to the 10th canto. We're only interested in gopis. We're not interested in cowherd boys. We're not interested in others. This is the essential. So that becomes Vaishnava Aparad. And obviously one doesn't get the mercy of the gopis with that type of attitude. The gopis won't even give a second of their time to somebody who is critical or dismissive of any resident of Vrindavan. How they interact for the sake of Leela, that's something else, but that's not the domain of the sadhakas. Sadhakas can't relate like that. So one thing is that we read Krishna, reading the demons, Krishna's pastimes, just like now. We're spending 1 month singing one song, and we do it year after year after year. Damodar Ashtakam, Krishna's childhood pastimes, glories of Mother Yashoda. And in the same way, we should not neglect what to speak of the Brijbasis, and then there's other reference as well. But the overall any associate of Krishna. So here, Guru Goshte Goshtalayishu. I'm actually talking about Goshtalayishu. Goshte means Braj or Vrindavan, and Goshtalayishu is the residence of Vrindavan. So one should not neglect offering them respect by hearing about them. On the other hand, one should also, if one neglects hearing of any, like not reading our books, that also becomes an offense. So it is disrespectful not to offer our time and our energy to hearing about the pastimes of the Lord. And of course, not only is it an issue of disrespect, but the ultimate sadhana for going back to Godhead is hearing about the residents of Vrindavan. We don't hear about them, we're not going anywhere. It doesn't happen by accident. So that's why we have sadhana bhakti. So what is sadhana bhakti? Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhava sadhana abhidha. So those activities by which one wants to attain bhava bhakti. Goshtalayishu, the people of Braj, the people who are living in Goshte, in Braj. And of course, one should be respectful, and one should love. On one side, we're talking about not being disrespectful, but on the other, we should cultivate an affection. Just like very often when we come here to Mayapur, then devotees who are living here, they say, welcome home. Devotees should consider, this is also Braj. So devotees should also consider that this is my home. Mayapur is my home. Vrindavan is my home. Why is that relevant? Because home is where the heart is. Heart means people are naturally most affectionate to their home. So our home is not New York, our home is not London, our home is not who knows where in the world. Our home is here, and for that we need to reawaken that real attraction. And of course, one of the features of awakening that attraction is that we recognize that there are two aspects to this Tam. There's what you see, this Drishtavan Dham, and then there is the uppercut, there's the unmanifest feature, or at least that which is invisible to those who don't have the vision. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. To those who have prema, then they can see Yam Shama Sundaram, they can see Shama Sundaram, Achintya Guna Swarupam, and then also his unlimited attributes, which includes Mayapur Dham, Vrindavan Dham. So we should not neglect, and we should develop our attachment. Developing attachment to residents of Vrindavan means once again hearing about them. And that, as I mentioned before, becomes a constant absorption, meditation, in which devotees become more and more specific in terms of their hearing as they're being guided along on the path of devotional service. Then Sujani, so the devotees. Now, who are devotees? There are the practicing devotees, and then there are perfected devotees. The devotees here in this world who are all living like sadhakas. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates are sadhakas, although actually they're also Goshtalaishu. They're also residents of Vrindavan. Gaurangera Sangi Magi Nitya Siddha. They are all Nitya Siddha. Chaitanya, if you have that faith, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates are all Nitya Siddha, that just qualifies you automatically for liberation. So one has to both develop affection for the practitioners and what to speak of for the perfected devotees. But there's different types of affection. Some affection is that which anyway, we don't some affection is that which in which devotees show their mercy to others. Ishvare tadidineshu baleshu, this prema maitri kipopeksha sakaroti samadhyama. So different way in which you show mercy, in which you show love, or which you show affection to others. And simultaneously, sadhu ninda. One has to avoid this sadhu ninda, guru vagya. So, in that, and of course in that category of the devotees comes also the demigods. Now, demigods are also devotees, some greater, some lesser, but they're great personalities. They achieve their position due to pious activities, therefore they should also be respected. And of course the whole idea that we show respect to others is a very safe mindset. Otherwise, the tendency is that we let our minds become critical and find fault, which here it is, he is stated, Sada damba hitva kururatim apurvam atitaram damba. Dampo darpa avimanascha. So Krishna says this pride. Pride means that I'm sufficient in myself, whether it be my mind, my senses, my intelligence, and I'm satisfied within myself. So Guru, Goste, Gostalayashu, Shujane, offering respect to Vaishnavas. Pusharagane. And then there are Brahmanas, they may not be Vaishnavas. They may be Smartas, they may be following Varnashram, although I guess that would happen more in South India than in this sphere, real serious followers. Srila Prabhupada even told us that if we meet a Mayavadi sannyasi, then we should offer obeisances. He is a Brahmin. So he may have very offensive mentality, but if he's actually a true sannyasi, then he's very austere, he's celibate, undergone austerities and so on. That's something that's worth offering respect to. So we offer respect and affection to the Brahmins. Namo Brahmanya Devaya. So Brahmins, Chaturvedi, Trivedi, Dvivedi, is there Ekavedi?
There is like Rigvedi and Samavedi like that.
So there may be Brahmins of different levels of spiritual advancement. Srila Prabhupada, wanted our devotees to do Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedanta, and Bhakti Sarvabhauma, in that order of complexity. And I think he said Bhakti Shastri as the requirement to be a Brahmin. And the devotee says, Prabhupada, well, what if they can't do it? He says, then they're not very Paka Brahmin, that's all. Then it should be known. So that's why Prabhupada's idea, we haven't unfortunately instituted that, but Prabhupada really wanted the devotees have a what's the word? They're called, they have a honorific title. So that Shastriji, that someone who's passed Bhakti Shastra, Shastriji, someone who's passed Bhakti Vedanta, he says, I want all my disciples to inherit the title of Bhakti Vedanta. Now the GBC passed a resolution that no one can be called Bhakti Vedanta, which is controversial in light of the fact that more than once Prabhupada said that all my disciples should. Of course, you're Bhakti Vedanta if you pass the Bhakti Vedanta exam, so that you have to be able to do, which is first 5 cantos, Bhagavatam.
All the 12 cantos.
That's a Bhakti Sarvabhauma.
No, that's Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Oh, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So all the Bhagavatam you should know. Then if someone should maybe call Bhakti Vedanta. In any case, Srila Prabhupada wanted, and in 77 there's discussion about the devotees who are receiving for recommendations from their GBC zone for who's the best pujari, who's the best preacher, and Prabhupada's giving names. And he calls in Panditji, Pradyumna Prabhu, and he checks with him about, okay, what do you call a preacher, and prachar something, and then the pujari, and the book distributor, and like that. So Srila Prabhupada did want devotees to get these honorifics. One reason is that it helps people be respectful when someone has an honorific, but we don't do that. So, yes, and we're stopping right here. We didn't get that far. Bhusharagane, the Brahmanas. So, when we joined, Brahmanas were like, they were considered to be very advanced devotees. So, Bhusharagane, and then we'll continue. Let's see who can memorize the first verse by tomorrow, including what it means. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami ki jai, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi.